We know what we do, man. That's how I go, man. So
It's an off day for me, man. I got the bonnet on.
this
I'm
man
doing
got
a
a
little.
whole bonnet on talking about,
No,
yo,
I'm doing a treatment in my hair right now. So
man, this man said, he said, call, he said, hit me up. I got some stuff to get off my chest real quick on this live, man.
yeah, man. Let's jump right into it, man. So
I Deontay Wilder got knocked out. You
Deontay
are
Wilder
his,
got knocked out.
you his manager. You are his promoter. What do you tell him right now?
Man, so with the Deontay Wilder thing, it's kind of it's a tricky one, man, because like I told y'all earlier, to the side in the chat, I feel like ever since the Tyson Fury losses, he kind of went on this journey to find peace and you know, to find himself. And I feel like before he was fighting with a chip on his shoulder,
Uh,
and now he kind of, he got peace or whatnot, and it's kind of like that hunger, that anger that he used to fight with is not there no more. And I think also, fighters figured him out too. Like this, the way he used to fight before, I think kind of Fury kind of exposed that a little bit to where he not really the same fighter he once was. He kind of looked uncoordinated when he fight now or whatnot. Before he was just going and getting guys out of there,
yeah.
but now he's his record. He had one win in between his last five fights, 4 fights, and that was against his sparring partner Helenius. I think his name is Helenius. That was against his sparring partner. That's the same dude that Anthony Joshua knocked out after Deontay Wilder knocked out. So I feel like personally, if I'm his manager, man, and you can't blame him, man. He's going for big fights.
Yeah,
He
that's
not
what I'm
he
saying.
not he not fighting no little throwaways. He fought Joseph Parker. I think that's the name, Joseph Parker.
Yeah,
He fought Zhang. I told y'all before, Zhang ain't no pushover. Zhang can
yeah.
fight. Um, and I told y'all about what happened when Jang and Joseph Parker fought, the last dude that beat Wilder. Jang was winning the first couple rounds. He actually knocked Joseph Parker down, but
Mm,
he kind of took his foot off the gas, and that allowed Joseph Parker to come back and get the win by decision. Um, so he's not fighting those slouches, but after a few knockouts, man, I would think that you would start doubting yourself. And then also your physical health comes into play too. If I'm his manager, I think retirement becomes a thing because you don't want Deontay Wilder to become a journeyman. Somebody, just started losing. You were so dominant in the beginning and then you start losing. Right now at this pace, he will only go down as losing. He lost what, two to Fury or one to Fury? One was a draw. He lost two to Fury. So
yeah,
two to
two.
Fury, he lost two to Fury. He lost one to Joseph Parker, and then he's one of. So that's four losses. You gotta start. Now is the time to start thinking about what your legacy gonna be, man. You know, do
So
you really care? Are you still hungry? That's
they
my.
said rumor is Bernard Hopkins said that he talked to them in the back. And he said if he loses tonight, he retires. Do you think that's a good move? He should just retire.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about that time, man. You don't want to tarnish your legacy, man. We know Wilder as that guy. We saw him fight Fury, which I do think Fury cheated one of them fights. I absolutely do think Fury cheated at one of them fights. I think if he didn't cheat, I don't think Wilder would have just made an assumption like that up and kind of put that out there. He hasn't put that against none of his other losses, you know. So I do think Fury cheated one of those fights. But retiring, yeah, I think it's about that time. I think it's about that time, man. If you look at the fight that he just had, he lost weight in the fifth round, and the kind of the stoppage it was like he got hit, and he was kind of confused about where he was at. He started getting mad at the ref, like the ref hit him.
That
The
was
ref
yeah.
ain't even the ref ain't even touch you. What the fuck? The ref ain't know where it
He,
is.
he hit him. He turned around.
You feel me? Yeah, I mean, he
Um,
started looking at the ref, man, and it just, man, Wilder, one of them dudes. Wilder was one of my favorite fighters. He still is one of my favorite fighters. So I think, man, I think it's about that time. He don't got to do it no more. He had a lot of money. He don't got to do it no more. You're
yeah,
choosing to do it. So, in my opinion, I think, yeah, man, just go ahead, hang him up. He about 30 something years old. you want to retire. You know, a lot of boxers, if you look at them when they get older, they kind of messed up. Like you think about Ali when he got older, he was a
Yeah.
little messed up. You know, like all his
All them
senses
things.
and wasn't there. So I definitely think it's about that time.
I mean, then then you got the UFC. I don't know too much about UFC, but you do.
UFC man. So
So the
UFC this
winners, wait, so the winners, who was the winner? Like who won?
so the main winners this weekend was Kevin Holland. Um, but like I said, I predicted Kevin Holland will win. It was a good win by submission. It was pretty much he put him in the arm, dude in the arm, but he actually got dropped. He got dropped, but the dude couldn't put him away. Kevin Holland got dropped. He couldn't put him away, and somehow he tried to wrestle him on the ground. Somehow Kevin Holland flipped it into an arm bar, and the dude didn't tap out. But the way his arm was bent, it was
Yeah.
kind of like they had no choice but to stop it because next thing that would have happened was he would have broke his arm. So he had to stop it. The way his arm was bent, it would look pretty bad. So yeah, he won that, which he should have won. Um, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Acosta. I projected that Sean Strickland would win, and he did. Sean Strickland, he's a good. I knew it was going to be a boxing fight. It wasn't going to really be a wrestling fight, and Sean Strickland's jab was just too good for Paulo Acosta. He couldn't do nothing about that, man. So that's how that went. In the main event was Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. Um, I strongly wanted Dustin Poirier to win, but as I stated, the safe bet would be for Islam. Um, it was a pretty good fight. It went 5 rounds. It was a 5 round stoppage by submission. Um, I think that Dustin didn't let his hands go like that. I think he didn't let his hands go because of fear of Islam taking him down or whatnot. Um, but if you really watch the fight, I feel like he could have had Islam. I feel like he could have won. It was right there. He didn't let it go, and he was stuffing takedowns. Islam got a couple takedowns, but Dustin was stuffing takedowns. Um, and within the fifth round, he got him he did a good ass move. I ain't gonna lie. Islam did a good move to Dustin, whipped his leg, and put him in a darts choke, and he got him out of there. But a few takeaways I got from that fight was I don't think there's this thing going on about Khabib Islam is better than Khabib. Islam is better than Khabib. When I watched that fight, I don't I don't feel like Islam is better than Khabib. I think that he has a lot of tools, but Khabib didn't have to use those tools because Khabib was going straight at you. He going straight at you. It's constant pressure. And a lot of the dudes that Islam is fighting, Khabib fought. Khabib got Poirier out of there in 2 rounds. Easily. Easily. Dustin even said, I never felt pressure like that before in my life. Khabib is different, you know what I mean? So I don't like the comparison that, oh, he's better than Khabib. He's not better than Khabib. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. He kind of struggled a little bit against Dustin. Um, And then also Dustin saying that this may be his last fight. He's thinking of retiring. I think it's a completely different thing with Wilder. This loss right here, it could have went the other way. It could have, he could have got him out of there. Dustin still looked like he could compete with the best of them. Me, if I'm doing matchmaking, I would match Dustin Poirier with a Max Holloway and have them run it back, do a rematch. They fought before and Dustin beat Max Holloway. I would have them run it back. I would have them run it back.
What if Max wins? Then you make a trilogy out of it?
Well, Max just had an amazing fight against Justin Gaethje. Amazing. I'm talking about Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje had just came off of knocking out Dustin Poirier, and they threw him a fight with Max Holloway. Nobody thought that Max Holloway won. Nobody. When I say Max Holloway came out there and did a shutout, I'm talking about Justin Gaethje didn't win a round, and he knocked him out within the last 10 seconds of the fight. So I'm putting Max Holloway in there with Dustin Poirier. That's a money fight. That's a money fight right there. That's a big fight. I'm putting him in there with him. I'm seeing how, if Poirier wins, he still got some in the gas tank. Depending on how Chandler and Conor goes, he could possibly do a what they call it, quadruple fight with Conor. That's a money fight. That's two money fights right there. And then if Max wins, Max could possibly look at, fighting for the 155 belt or going back down to the, 145 and fighting for that title. But it's a lot of good fights to make with Dustin. I think Dustin wants to retire because, he had 3 title fights and it's kind of, the road to getting back to a title fight is a lot. So lose your third one. It's kind of like the road to a title fight don't look too close. But right now, I feel like it's just about, providing the best fights. I say 2 more fights for Dustin because Dustin's still a dog. So yeah, that's what I think on that.
He's still got. So I have a question. The way that card was structured, from A being the best, A plus, and then D or F, what would you grade that card from? How would you
That
grade
card,
that card that you saw this weekend?
uh, that card was one of those cards where it's kind of like, man, I'm ready for this card.
A,
It's gonna be a
B,
good
C.
card. So yeah, that card, it was from what on paper it looks like this finna be one of them ones. Um, but if you watch the card, it wasn't as good as we thought it was gonna be. The best fight was Islam versus Dustin, which was the main event. So that card wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be. So if we had, I mean, from basically the card itself, if you want to rate it, it's like it's an A. But from what we saw, what it actually turned out to be, I would give it like a C because they didn't really. We thought the Acosta and Strickland was going to be, like a dog fight, and it wasn't. It wasn't really a dog fight. It was just a regular. We thought somebody was going to sleep. See, one thing about fighting, people want to see a war. They want to see somebody get knocked out. They want to see, they want to see. And if you don't get knocked out, we want to see y'all throwing them shit. We don't want to see, little pity pat, whatever. We want to see fight. And that's kind of like, even when you go to boxing, that's kind of where Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney and them, that's where they take their downfall because they not really doing much outputting. Well, Haney got a jab. He does a lot of output. He does some
He has a
output.
jab.
Yeah, he has a jab.
I say Shakur gets in the ring. I say he engages strategically. Like if he knows it's a punch,
Yeah,
if he knows that person has punch power, he has his last performance show what he was gonna give.
right. Yeah, so Shakur, like yeah. So that's why he can't really sell for real. That's what the issue. He's not really selling for real because we don't want to see you run. We want to see a fight. When we watch a tank fight, we know we watching a fight. When you watching Boots and Spence and them, we know we finna watch a fight. No matter what happened, what the outcome is, we finna see a fight. When we see Isak Cruz, we know we finna see a fight. And that's what people want to see. Like I told, like we don't pay to see defense. I don't sit up at night when it comes to fighting thinking, man, this is going to be a good defensive fight. I don't think about that. I want to see some offense. And then if you provide some beautiful defense, I'm loving it. Like, you know what I mean? But like I don't watch it for that. Like I want to see a good fight. Like, so um yeah, like that's the thing, man. We want to see a fight. We want to see, some shit. So yeah, man, that's how I feel about all that.
I like. So what do you so Wilder gets knocked out, like you said in the last stream we had, you said if Wilder wins, he fights Anderson, right? Jared Anderson. So do you
Right.
think that the guy that beat Wilder should fight Jared Anderson or not?
Yeah, I would go. Yeah, I would go. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, that makes sense. Zhang versus Jerry Anderson. Jerry Anderson needs a big fight. It's about that time. He needs a big fight, whether it's Anderson or whether it's Joseph Parker. Um, Anthony Joshua, I don't think he's gonna take that fight. Um, but yeah, I think it's about time for him to get that big fight. I think it's about time for a lot of these dudes to get that big fight, man. I wish that boxing had the same type of matchmaking that UFC got. UFC, the best gonna fight the best. Like it's no getting around it. If you don't want to fight, we gonna the next motherfucker that's up, they gonna fight. So like, yeah, I definitely want. I think that would be good. Him versus Zhang, especially because Zhang came off of a loss. Now he coming off a win of a big name. Why not, man? Make the best fights. But that's what we here for. That's what we want to see. Make the best fights. There's no way that Shakur, Tank, Lomachenko, all of them boys was in the same weight class and they didn't fight. That's crazy. You go. Keyshawn Davis is in that weight class too. Like, it's no way them boys got names like that and they haven't fought. Like, nah, bro, make that shit.
35. He won
He's
35.
135. He's 135. It's no way that these names shouldn't fight, man. So, yeah, and I wish they had the same matchmaking, but I do understand that some people don't be wanting to mess up that O. UFC, you gonna earn that O. It ain't no you want to keep your O, nigga. You gonna fight the best. It don't matter. John Jones, he still got that O. I mean that's why he's the greatest UFC fighter of all time. So
Oh, he never lost.
he never lost. He never lost. He got a disqualification. He's never lost. He got a disqualification based off of an elbow. He threw an elbow coming down like that, and I guess they said that he couldn't do that. So he had a disqualification. They tried to give him a no contest for Daniel Cormier for drugs, but years later it came back and said that that drug was nothing to do with performance or anything like that. So that went back on his record. But yeah, like John Jones is that guy.
I've heard a lot about him and that he strategically knows and he crawls to people. I've seen clips on YouTube. I don't
Let me
watch
tell you
UFC.
something. John Jones is my favorite fighter. John Jones is that guy.
So he's like the Floyd Mayweather of UFC, basically.
I wouldn't say the Floyd Mayweather of UFC is Conor. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. If you want to talk the greatest,
I thought it was Khabib.
fuck no. I mean, what are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? As far as an
Like
undefeated thing?
never lost. Like yeah, like the undefeated. I thought it was Khabib. Khabib is 12 and 0.
Khabib is undefeated. I think Khabib is like 29 and 0. But Khabib is undefeated, but everybody feels like Khabib retired too early. And he retired because his dad passed away and his mom wanted him to stop, whatnot. So that's why he retired. But it was still some names, man, that Khabib is a dog. I don't think, but motherfuckers, bro, Khabib is, look, man, I ain't even lying to you. Khabib is that guy.
I
Khabib,
said I don't.
well, you talk about somebody beating the dog shit out of Conor McGregor. I'm talking about on top of him, beating the fuck out of him, talking to him while he beating the fuck out of him. Like literally saying, like, no, you want to talk,
And then
let's talk now.
it relaxed into like a brawl after, like the cats.
Man, it got bad. It was bad, bro. It got bad. Like Khabib was really mad. He beat the shit out of Conor McGregor. Even you go to who else? Justin Gaethje, man, he made that shit look easy. Dustin Poirier made it look easy. Like Islam, I just don't think Islam is Khabib. But I don't feel like he's the. If you want to talk about the impact or money revenue, that's Conor McGregor for the UFC easily. There's no doubt about that. But if you want to talk about the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, you got to go John Jones. Yeah, you got to go John Jones. Like talk about somebody that know how to win, gonna get it done is John Jones easily.
Yeah. Then what's the DC fought him twice, right?
DC fought him twice and he lost twice. There were some good fights. I'm gonna actually send you some fights, man, so you can watch. So you can see. I'm gonna send you some fights. You can take some time to dissect, just watch them. I'm gonna send you some fights that you're gonna actually enjoy. Like I ain't gonna see you no fights.
No, boy. So you said you give the card a C. So
I give it a C.
Still into the combative sports. Tank has a fight coming up in like 2 weeks. Tank versus the Frank Bolsonaro. Who do you think wins that one? And what round do you think it ends?
I got Tank, of course. You know, I'm a Tank fan. I'm gonna go 8 and under.
Hey,
8 and under. I think Frank is good, but Frank last fight wasn't that good, man. He wasn't that good. You going against an angry Tank. Tank looking shape early. Um,
so he's cut down. He spent time in jail. He was like, "Oh, I'm in jail work." Now he's been saying
yeah,
it.
Tank. I think Tank gonna get him out of there
I don't
at
know.
a good thing. I think the next fight after this, like if Tank gets him out of there, I think it should be Lomachenko for sure. Um,
Lomachenko,
Tank,
nah. If he fights Lomachenko, he's gonna have him retired, man.
yeah, but what you gonna wait till Lomachenko 38, 39 to like nah,
I
you
think
got
Loma
fight him
got
now.
I think Loma got like one or two more good fights at 135.
That's why I say go ahead and make Tank versus
If he
Lomachenko.
fights
You know how
Tank,
deep.
that's two fights. I think. All right, so he's on PBC. Lomachenko's on PBC. Shakur's on PBC. I think that'll work, but we'll see because
Do you think Tank versus Lomachenko is the biggest fight to make? Tank versus Shakur, it'll do good. It'll do good numbers as far as in us, you know, like us fans or whatnot. But you
come
talk
on,
about
guys.
you talking about motherfuckers that's really behind Lomachenko. Lomachenko got a big ass fan base, and then
Yeah,
you throw Javante Davis fan base on top of that. That's a big fight to make. That's a really big fight
they wanna
versus
make
Shakur versus Tank. That's not gonna be as big as Tank versus Tank versus Lomachenko. Like I don't think that'd be as big. I think if Shakur, I think this is what Shakur need to find. I think the remedy to Shakur is he need to fight more within a year, at least 3 fights, and he got to put a couple of them dudes away. You got to put them away. That's what's gonna gravitate people towards you. You got to do a shutout like how Haney did Regis. He did a shutout where he made him look bad to where people was like, "Oh shit, this
yeah,
nigga the real deal." Hold on now.
yeah. We got
You
some
feel
now.
me? So he gotta have one of them performances. I haven't saw one of the performances from him yet. To be honest with you, I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm taking Keyshawn Davidson over Shakur.
They in the same camp.
They in the same camp. They in the same weight class, and I saw Keyshawn put niggas out.
And Keyshawn
He
Davis,
fought he fought Pedraza his last fight. Put him out.
yeah, Pedraza's at the end of his rope, but everybody's fighting Pedraza now. But Tank was the first one to fight Pedraza for his belt when he was
And what do he
there.
do?
So
And what do he do?
say Tank put him out. But that's what gets me mad when people say Tank's resume is not up there. And I'm like, he's fought champions, but he's fought
Yeah,
people
for
for the
sure.
intern. You know what I mean? Like he fought people champions. So it is what it is, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I just
I think Tank fought Frank Martin to get under Shakur's skin. To be honest with you, because if you know, Shakur and Frank was supposed to fight,
yeah.
and
So that
then
fight,
he
okay.
canceled it to fight Tank.
So Frank Martin was supposed to fight Shakur Stevens.
Right.
So you gotta understand, like, well, the business, the business of it. So Frank Martin just fought on a Saturday, right? So pay-per-view Saturday. The Shakur Stevenson and him fight was supposed to happen on like a Wednesday.
That's
So why
crazy.
would I go from fighting on a Saturday to a Wednesday?
Facts. I agree.
So I didn't take the fight, and then the split wasn't what he asked for. Also, so you're telling me that I'm main eventing, I'm fighting on Saturdays where pay per view and people are tuning in and buying, and you want me to fight on a work day where people are barely going to fight, well, barely going to see. So he didn't do it. That's what it was. It was the money wasn't there, and then he felt like he's going backwards. So now he
So do
takes
you
his
think
tank fight. This
what
on
if
a
what
Saturday.
if what if Tank says after this fight, you know what? I want to fight Keyshawn Davis next. Do you think that creates turmoil between Keyshawn
Nah,
and
that
Shakur
nah.
because you
It
get in
wouldn't.
all these fights that you know
Nah, I think if
not
he wants to go after the businessman, I doubt that he does because that's not on his targeted list. But if it does happen, I think it'll be that. I think I thought Keyshawn Davis was 140, but I think he said
Nah,
he'll go up to 140 to
to
fight
fight
Teofimo
Tio.
Lopez.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
fight Tio.
So I think if he puts on a good performance with Teofimo Lopez, I think that'll gravitate Tank to be like, okay, we can try it.
I think Tio hype too. I think Tio's all hype, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just saw a couple
I
fights where I
think
felt like Tio lost.
the last fight he had against Jermaine Ortiz, I felt like he lost. But
Right?
everybody's like, well, they called it what? Track Thursdays, that Jermaine Ortiz ran around the ring. But if he runs around the ring and you have a fighter that can't cut off the ring, then who's the problem? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And they're like,
I feel
well,
like he I feel like he won, to be honest with you.
yeah,
Man,
I
if
say
I was
Jermaine
Tank, I'm taking all these niggas.
Jermaine Ortiz. I would like to see Jermaine Ortiz fight Keyshawn Davis. I like to see Jermaine Ortiz fight Shakur Stevenson. He said he said Shakur Stevenson don't hit hard. So that's what I'm saying. Like Jermaine Ortiz is one of those guys to get overlooked because he didn't do a bad performance when he fought versus Lomachenko. So when he
Mm,
fought Lomachenko, everybody was like, we feel like he got robbed. And then they like,
yeah,
well, some other people like, well, look at the punch stats. I like to see Jermaine Ortiz win one and see how that goes. Honestly, because it'll be good. It'll be real good for Jermaine Ortiz.
yeah,
I
man.
think
But
that'll
look,
be
man,
good.
we gonna wrap it up here, man. You know, got a quick segment out, man.
Yeah, we just going right straight to the live. We get it through. We get it done, man. This the league, my man. Jordan to get some stuff on, get it
Yeah,
out in the air. So don't forget to like, comment, and